I know, like, people are just nuts, out of their mind, like Looney Tune, okay? Hi guys. So today I'm giving very much simple girl realness because I've had like 50 breakdowns this week and all of a sudden I have allergies. I guess I turned 23 and then my life just started going crazy. I don't know, but I have like allergies now. So my eyes keep watering, my nose is red. It's just a lot going on, crying. It's a lot. So the last thing I wanted to do is my makeup. So we just kind of threw it on. What you see is what you get. I still have my nails from like 3 weeks ago because they just will not come off and they're hurting at this point because I keep doing it wrong. So don't mind these. And guys, hello, alert the media, because we have a virtual homegirl, okay? So if you watched my last video, my reacting to TikToks, you guys should go watch it. But I featured one of the Bleach fails and she actually came across my video and she left a comment and she shouted me out on TikTok.
So I'm famous. Apparently my bleaching TikToks got reviewed by a YouTuber who seems absolutely lovely. I had never heard of her before, but she seems absolutely lovely, even though she made fun of me a bunch and told me that I don't know what I'm doing. Which I do not blame her from those videos, because just know what to do, don't care. Did whatever the flip I wanted. Anyway, it's pretty cool to see my TikTok videos getting reviewed on YouTube. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, check her videos out on YouTube if you want, because I enjoyed watching myself. But she seems great. So yeah. And thanks for reviewing me. And yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much. She also brought it to my attention. I also like forget sometimes that how I feel like I come across, maybe like, oh yeah, homegirl, chit chat, but it's like, if I didn't know you and you were talking about me, like trying to make fun of me type deal, I would feel the type of way too. So she also brought it to my attention that I was a little rude. So sorry, and to anyone that was in that video, I really did not mean it in no type of, you know, way. It was more of like, you know, when you're making fun of your homegirl, your friend, and you're just like, girl, what are you doing? It was like that. That's what the spirit I'm trying to give. So, yeah, she kind of brought it to my attention. That was a little harsh. So next video, I'm going to work on that. I really am. I'm going to put that into work because I don't want people coming for me. But thank you so much to her. She was, I also watched her other content on TikTok and she is really funny. So I'm going to leave her link down below. So check her out. Also, if you are featured in one of my videos and you come across it for whatever reason, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. I don't use TikTok. Like I don't post on TikTok. So I just have user 50 billion, you know, that whole number thing. But you can hit me up on Instagram or on here. Let me know. You know, and we can interact a little bit, kind of get you a little shout out like we did our original girls. So, yeah, that's always fun. So let's get into this video because this video, I was always very hesitant. This has been at the forefront of my mind. And ever since I started making videos, and I've just always been really embarrassed because it was well deserved, kind of. I don't know, but we'll just get into it, okay? Let's just get into this. So this took place here in Miami. This was like when I first started in the salon that I was at. So in this salon, like I told you guys in previous videos, it was a higher end salon. It was very bougie, you know, very expensive. And the clientele, girl, the clientele was just so ridiculously entitled. They were so entitled, so rich, and so rude. Oh my God, so rude. So I dealt with a lot of characters, especially being that I was just mainly front desk and apprentice. Like, let them tell, I was the scum. I was the help. I was the peasant that shined their shoes, okay? So that's all I really was to the customers there. And at the same time, I don't really care because I wasn't there for the customers. I was there for the experience. So, and a lot of like interactions that I had with people, they weren't very nice, but you kind of get over it. Like one of my coworkers, when I first started there, she was like, "Oh yeah, you're really nice. That's gonna go away in like 3 months. Watch." And I was like, "No, I don't think so. Like I'm pretty, I was raised in Tennessee, Southern hospitality. You know what I mean?" And yeah, no, she was right. Then I need to stop. I'm doing too much. Yeah, she was definitely right because experiences like this one really set the tone for my stay here in Miami. Okay, so honestly, if I remembered this lady's name, I would use it, but I cannot recall what her name was. So we are gonna call her Brandy. So Brandy was apparently there for years. She came all the time. She always got her manicures, her pedicures. She always came in regularly, like every week, to get her services done. So she always got a gel manicure and a gel pedicure, and then she got her hair blow dried by one of the stylists. So I saw her regularly. We didn't have the best interactions, but it wasn't like, she was just very much like, I'm here to get this done. I'm ready to leave. That's the kind of client that she was. So I really didn't put too much energy or effort into talking to her, getting to know her, or anything like that. So whatever, I would constantly just be in and out, whatever. Now, the thing with her was, I don't know why people do this, but it was also a thing there. I guess you got so much money, you don't care. She would pay in advance. So she would, how do I want to explain it? She would pay for like 6 months of her services. So she would book all of her appointments and she would pay for all of them. So that was another reason of her like entitlement, I guess, because she felt like she already paid. She just came in, got to do whatever she wanted and left type of deal. Like I don't know. Being rich is just like, it's so far-fetched to me. I don't know what runs through these people's head. So she had a very, when I come in, I'm first. I don't wait. I don't do all that. That was her attitude. Like when she snapped her finger, we all dropped what we're doing. So, because it got to the point, there was one day she like made a remark, because it was like the doors that we had, like you had to open the door. I mean, it's a building, you have to open your own door. So it was glass. So I was at the front desk and I like looked out and I was on the computer and she's like opening the door. And I don't know what she was talking about. She was like, "Oh, you see me struggling at the door and you're not going to open it for me?" That's the type of lady she was. I was like, no, man, I am not a doorman. No. So just to tell you, that's the kind of woman that she was. Like, she was just the most. So she paid in advance. So I would say she paid like I said, like 6 months in advance. So she had all her appointments set and all her like things were paid for. So this salon was constantly really, really busy. Like there was a point in time where a lot of people left. So there was like a limited amount of staff, but there was still a big clientele to, do their services. So it was a very rare occasion where there would be nobody there or there would be like a lot of wiggle room. So if you wanted your appointment, you had to pre-book. It was not, a non-negotiable. But also, since Brandy prepaid and all this other stuff, it was pretty much like you couldn't move her appointments. Like, this is her appointments and this is where they're going to stay. This comes up, so watch out. So Brandy's usual service was the blow dry first, a manicure and a pedicure, both gel. So one day she had called and she was really upset. Like, I don't know what this woman was on, but let's just call my manager Sydney. So she calls the salon one day and she's like, "Where's Sydney?" And I was like, "Excuse me, like, may I ask who's calling, ma'am? Because you don't just be looking for Sydney, okay?" So I was like, "Hey, Can I ask who's calling? And she was like, this is Brandy. She knows exactly why I'm calling and you need to get her on the phone. That's how she spoke, okay? So I was just like, let me put you on hold, ma'am. So I put her on hold and I go get Sydney and I was like, hey, Brandy's on the phone. She said that she has to talk to you. She's being really rude. She's like, insists on speaking to you. And so Sydney rolls her eyes and she was like, I already told her through email that this relationship is done. I already told her that. What does she need? What else does she want from me? So I'm just like, oh, so there's drama. Okay. So I was like, what is going on? So, you know, Sydney goes to the phone. So I skedaddle over to the phone because I wanted to hear what was going on. And so apparently they had gotten into this weird situation. I don't really know. To this day, I don't understand what happened. But she was just like, I'm done with you guys. Cancel all my appointments, everything. Like, I'm sick of it. So I was just like, oh my God. So when Sydney gets off the phone, she tells me that Brandy's done, like, cancel all her appointments. She's done. And if she ever tries to book here again, it's never going to happen. Keep that in mind. She said that if she cancel her appointments and if she ever comes here, she can never rebook again. Like, this is the end of Brandy. So Brandy was supposed to come in that day. So let's say this all happened at like 10 in the morning. Brandy had an appointment at 5 o'clock for her usual, her blow dry, her manicure, and her pedicure. So when Sydney told me that, I just went ahead and I deleted it. Like, I deleted her appointment for that day. So stay with me. So I deleted her appointment that day that she had, her 3 appointments. I deleted it. So there was a big block of time that was available. So as I was trained, when there's spots available, you fill them. Do we see where this is going? Are we picking up, you know, what I'm putting down? So I go ahead, there was people that called and I booked in the spots that Brandy had and I filled them in. Unbeknownst to me, guess who walks through the door? Brandy. So I was under the impression, because I was told by Sydney was the owner, I was told by Sydney that no, she's not getting anything done. She's done. She's canceled. Whatever. It is what it is. She is no longer allowed to rebook. That was what was told to me. So Brandy walks in and she was like, I'm ready for my appointment. Because when you walk in, you have to give them robes. Like, it was still the most. So when you walk in and you have a hair appointment, I have to greet you and I have to give you a robe and I have to ask you if you want water, coffee, tea, whatever. So she walks in and she was like, I'm ready, like, for my hair appointment. And I looked at her because, you know, these people don't want to talk to the help. So she, like, goes over to, like, where you're supposed to get your robe. She just, like, kind of walks past me. She's like, oh, I'm ready for my appointment. And she's kind of, like, waiting for me to get the robe. So I see her and I was like, oh, Brandy, do you have an appointment today? And she was like, of course I have my appointment. I had this scheduled. My name is Brandy, da-da-da. I'm here for my blow dry, my manicure, my pedicure. This is my last one. And so I kind of, like, froze because I was like, nobody told me that you were getting, like, your last one. Everyone said that you were canceled, girl. Like, cut the cameras. You're done. Like, they gave you the boot. So I was really confused. I was like, ooh. Mind you, Sydney was no longer there. So I go to one of the stylists and I was like, the stylist that usually does her blow dry, I was like, hey, Brandy's here. And he was like, okay, well, like, let me go get her. Did you get the robe or whatever? And he wasn't understanding that I was kind of like going to him for like a little bit of guidance, but like nobody cared. So I was like, he's like, okay, so like bring her back here or whatever. So I kind of like, he kind of dismissed me, so I was just like, I'll try to figure out what I can do, like, what is going on here. So, what did I call her? Sydney was not there. So, there was only one manicurist at the time that day, and I had put in an appointment where Brandy's appointment was. So as you can see, I'm scrambling because I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. So whatever, I called Sydney. I was like, hey, Brandy's here for her appointment. And she was like, yeah, I know. She's finishing. This is her last appointment and she'll never be able to come back. And I was just like, oh, so I misinterpreted. It's like, I guess it's me. It's my fault, you know? I misinterpreted what you meant. When you said cancel her, I thought that meant like today and beyond. So I was like, oh, I assumed that she was canceled. And she was like, no, cancel her future appointments. But like, no, she's not coming back. But yeah, she's finishing out the day. Like, she already had it booked. She already paid for it. So yeah, she's coming in and that's it. And I was like, well, there's already an appointment in that spot. Like, you know, I was trying to play it off. To be honest, like, let's be serious. I don't work there anymore, so I don't care. Like, I was trying to play it off like, oh, well, somebody put an appointment there. Like, oh, this appointment. Because Sydney and the other owner, they, like, did appointments, too, like, from their phones. So I was trying to play it off like one of them, like, you know, fumbled a little bit, and it wasn't my fault. Let's be serious. But y'all are going to see the karma that I got for lying, for being a liar. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's an appointment right there, knowing I booked it. Like, but in the computer, right? So how you make appointments, it was like, let's just say like the code was like 00000. So everybody used that. So you don't really know. It's not like when I worked at a store for like 3 days, but you have your own personal code. So when you go into the system, it shows like who made the appointment, who deleted the appointment, all that stuff. Girl, no. It just was user that said that. So it was really like convenient for me because really no one knows who did it. I know who did it because I did it, but nobody knows who did it. So while Brandy's getting her hair done, I'm kind of scrambling and I was like, oh, well, somebody, you know, there's an appointment there. And so Sydney was like, oh my God, who booked that appointment? Was it the other owner? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Lying. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, so now I'm really in deep because not only is Brandy like a mess, but she's also getting her hair done right now, and she's supposed to be getting her mani and pedi, and Homegirl does not wait, and I have her, like, it was basically as if her appointment was at like 5 o'clock, right? It was from like 5 to 6:30. So I canceled it. So there was like an hour in there, like where her appointment would have been. There was a client there getting a manicure. So I could have finessed it a little bit, but she would have been waiting, and Miss Brandy does not wait for no one. So she finishes her hair, and the stylist was like, here you go, bye, nice to see you, Brandy, da-da-da. And so Brandy goes to sit at the pedicure bowls, and she's like, why is my water not ready? And so the manicurist, that's a whole other story. The manicurist was like, what are you talking about? I don't have you down on my thing, because the people had it on their phones. She's like, I don't have you on there, and I was not able. I mean, I didn't like to talk to the manicurist anyway, but I didn't have the time to tell her the rundown. So she's just going at the mouth talking about like, oh, you're not on my schedule, like, what is this, like, you know? And so I was just like, okay, finesse, Samantha, do what you gotta do. So I was like, oh yeah, Brandy, while she's finishing up, I'm gonna go ahead and get your pedicure started, because she had gel on her toes. So I was out here touching feet, guys. That's how in deep I was. I was touching feet. I don't do pedicure. I don't do nails, but I definitely don't do feet. So I was like, I'll go ahead and get you ready. And she was like, I've never like had you before. Like, are you new? Now she wanted to play dumb, like she didn't know who I was. So she was like, I've never like had a pedicure by you before. And I was like, no, I'm not doing a pedicure. I'm just starting it for the manicure. It's like, I'm gonna get you right, girl. So, I mean, Jesus, I'm just putting a cotton ball full of acetone on your feet and wrapping it in foil. Do you really need a well, I am licensed, but like, do you really need a professional to do that for you? My goodness. So I was like, no, I'm going to go ahead and take care of you. I'm going to go ahead and get the stuff together. So while I was like getting the stuff together, I called Sydney and I was like, hey, I'm going to like transfer the phone calls to you because I'm going to be starting this girl's pedicure because it's a schedule mishap going on here. And so Sydney was like, okay, like do what you got to do. She was still kind of in the blind. This is all my fault. That's why I was so hesitant to make this video. It was just a hot mess. So I start, filing the top coat off and putting the cotton balls and this or whatever. She's like, I've never had this happen before. And then she's like looking over to see like where the manicure is, what stage in that lady's manicure that the manicurist was at. And so she's like leaning over and she was like, what are we gonna name this girl? Called her Matilda. Like, Matilda, are you gonna be done in time? Like, my feet are almost ready. That's the kind of customer she was. So annoying. But she's like, Matilda, are you gonna be done in time? Like, she's almost done. And I was not almost done. She still had to soak. And I'm still wrapping her toes. Ew. I was wrapping her toes in, like, the foil or whatever. And so I'm like looking at Matilda and Matilda's like, yeah, don't worry. Like, we're going to take care of you. And so I go over to her and mind you, like we were beefing. And so I was like, hey, there was a scheduling mix up and I'm just going to let you know, kind of like telling her to wrap this girl up because she has Brandy. But at the same time, like, Brandy, you can relax. You know what I mean? It's not like we're trying to make an impression on you. You're leaving. You're never allowed to schedule your thing again. So, but of course, Matilda and her stank attitude all the time. Oh my God. I would tell her something. I could tell her that it's supposed to rain outside and she's gonna be like, it's not supposed to rain. It's not gonna rain. Oh, I hated her. Oh my God. Getting sidetracked. So she was just like being a butt, and so she was not getting the hint that like, yeah, I messed up, but I kind of need you to be a good coworker and do some teamwork with me, So I was just like, okay, Brandy, while your feet are soaking, let me go ahead and get your hands. And so Brandy like puts her hand back and she was like, you're not doing my nails. Like, what is going on? This is not, like, I never had you do my nails before. Matilda is, like, with somebody else. Like, I've never had this happen to... Where is Sydney? Where is Sydney? And I was just like, okay. We are going to... It's going to be this kind of party, pretty much. Like, you're already on 10, so, okay. So I was like... I'll go ahead, like Sydney's not here today. I was just, trying to start the process a little bit so you didn't have to sit here, and wait on Matilda to finish. And she's like, I shouldn't be waiting on anyone at all. I shouldn't be having you do anything to me because I shouldn't be waiting at all. So when she started saying that, I was like, okay, now it's time to turn on the attitude. And I was like, Brandy, I understand that. I was advised to go ahead and start everything so you didn't have to wait any longer. I can go ahead and start doing your hands now, or you can keep your feet soaking and you're gonna have to wait. Either way, you are going to wait until Matilda gets done. So when I was saying that, one of the stylists, Messy, calls Sydney. So I guess he overheard that and he decided to call Sydney when all this was going down. So of course I get a phone call on my phone. And so while Brandy is throwing her little fit, I feel it. And I was just like, excuse me. I go get my phone. I get on the phone and Sydney's like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? And I was like, I told you the appointment got canceled. Still running with my story. I said the appointment got canceled and Brandy is upset because Matilda is waiting, or Matilda's finishing up and she's upset that she has to wait. I already started her toes. I offered to start her hands and now she's just getting upset with me. She's getting irate because she says she doesn't wait and she shouldn't have to wait and all this other stuff. So then Sydney was like, put her on the phone, because Sydney and the other owner were very much confrontational. Okay, they are the ones, when you leave a Google review, they will respond. Very unprofessionally, but they will respond. Don't play with them. So I give the phone to Brandy. I was like, Sydney's on the phone. She wants to speak to you. All I heard was Brandy saying, no, this is not, I've already paid, I've already did this. And Brandy is yelling at this point in the salon. She's like, I already paid, I already did what I was supposed to do. You were supposed to finish your end of the deal. Do you know who I am? She pulled that, I'm telling you. She's like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And you're really gonna sit here and have me waiting. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm done. And so she like hands the phone back to me. Meanwhile, I'm hearing Sydney. Sydney is still talking. So I was like, hey, Sydney. She gave me the phone back. And she was like, tell her that she's gonna wait however long she needs to wait. And that's it. That's that with that. I'm not dealing with her anymore. And that's the reason why she can't come back to this salon. And then Sydney hangs up the phone with me. So I was just like, okay. We are going to regroup here. What am I going to do to rectify the situation I put myself in, kind of? So Matilda, still taking her sweet time, finally decides to finish. By the way, she did not try to help diffuse the situation, but I didn't expect much from her. So she goes ahead and she finished the client that she had. And so I go ahead and I start taking the client that she finished to go pay. As I'm ringing this lady, like just giving her card, whatever, trying to like, oh, so sorry for what happened. Have a great day. Nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. Because that lady was so cool and so nice. God bless those type of clients. So as I'm doing this, Brandy with her, she has aluminum foil wrapped around her toes. She comes in on her heels and she was like, so you're gonna leave me here? This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And I'm just like, what is that? Like, your toes? You said you did not want me to touch your hands. I did your toes. Your toes are soaking. What's her name? Matilda is already done. Like, can you relax? Jesus, like, is this really, ma'am? So once again, Matilda was very problematic because even in all of this, you know where she is at? In the break room, eating, which... OSHA, okay, yes, everyone is entitled to their 30-minute break, all that good, boom, bang, pow, but today is not that day, girl. Like, can you please help me diffuse the situation? Or can you, like, I don't know if I'm even in the if I'm right to be demanding things from people because this was my fault, but at the same time, like, help a sister out, girl. Like, you know how many times Matilda's clients got upset with her and I'm over here like, no, let me get you a coffee, let me get you a tea, like, sit, relax, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know how many sets that I've soaked off for you? You can't get yourself together a little bit to help me out? There's story times on her. So anyway, Brandy is just going off. So I was like, Brandy, let me finish checking this customer out and I'll be right with you. Oh my, you would have thought I said go to hell and burn alive. Like, that set this woman off. Me telling her, let me check this woman out. So I finally checked this girl out. In the span of 2 seconds that I checked this girl out, Brandy starts going off. She's like, what is your name? What is your name? And I was like, what? I was confused. And I'm not really good when I'm like in these kind of situations. Like, when I get confused, I'm not really good at like differentiating like professionalism and whatever. So when she was like, what is your name? What is your name? I was like, what? And she was like, do you know who I am? I'm Brandy da-da-da. I am Brandy da-da-da. And do you know that I've already paid? I don't know who you need to call. I don't know if you need to call Sydney or the other owner, but I paid. I paid my things 6 months in advance. So when I paid that, I don't expect to be sitting here. And then her language started getting real colorful, extremely colorful. So now she's causing a scene. So the other stylists are seeing this, and I'm just like, Brandy, you need to calm down. You need to relax. And then when I said that, then one of the stylists comes out. He's like, what's going on, ladies? What is going on? And then she started going off. She called me all type of incompetent. She called me an imbecile, a moron. What else did she call me? She started saying all kinds of stuff that I didn't even know. I'm like, oh God, man. And so she's doing all that. When she's explaining it to the stylist, she was like, I cannot believe that. And so he was like, Brandy, you can't do that here. Like, you cannot cause a scene like this. This is not where you need to do this, because the way the salon was set up, it was like little sections. So she was in like that middle section, so everybody else could hear her. And so he was like, you need to calm down. Like, you cannot do this. This is not the establishment. You are in a high-end salon. You need to act accordingly or whatever. And so I'm just standing there because nothing I'm saying, I'm just flaming the fire. I guess my face just pissed her off. So she's just like, absolutely not, absolutely not. So then like the stylist starts kind of like guiding her to like the front where the pedicure was. And he was like, look, like, I'm gonna go get Matilda and we're gonna get this figured out. Like, she's done. And then he looks at me and he was like, where's Matilda? And I was like, in the back. So then he gets mad. He was like, Matilda, where are you? Your client is here. It was just a hot mess. It was such a hot mess. So then Matilda finally comes out, and so we're sitting Brandy down. At this point, like, this is why, like, whenever I get a salon, all that mess that you want to make, you can go. No one is gonna sit here and do this for you. Like, I was in a, like, weird position just because I was the apprentice receptionist. This was my fault. And I don't know, like, although it was, like, mala mia, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you really didn't even have to wait. Like, you weren't really inconvenienced by my error. You just had to wait, and I was the one that was gonna put your like, you didn't really have to wait. I don't know if I'm making sense, but like, do you guys get what I'm trying to say? So she was just going in on that, and I'm just like, oh my God. So while Matilda finally decides to show up and take her client and starts taking the gel off her toes and starts soaking her hands, she is telling Matilda, she was like, I cannot believe, like, you guys have such a stupid person doing this. She was saying all kinds of stuff, but you know, YouTube, I can't say it. So she was just going in on me, talking about how much of an imbecile I was and all this craziness. And then that's when I was just done with it. I was over it. I was like, Brandy, I understand that you were inconvenienced today and that I will take full accountability for. But the situation is handled and it's done. You're getting your manicure, you're getting your pedicure, you got your hair done. There is no need to keep this going. Like, what is your problem? So I told her that. I was like, you know, and so when I walk away, of course, Matilda's too Matilda. So she was just like, oh yeah, she probably made a mistake, da 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 da. And so then Brandy was like, that's exactly why I'm no longer coming here. I'm like, girl, you got kicked out. Like, they told you you can't come back here. It wasn't your choice. They told you you can't come back here. So I was just like, so I called Sydney and I let her know everything that was going on because they had cameras in there. And she's like, no, I'm looking at it on the cameras. That's exactly why she's not allowed to come back here. And I'm going to tell her that. I'm going to call her personally and let her know, don't ever come back to our salon ever again. Like, this is it, blah, 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 whatever. So Brandy already paid. So when her manicure and pedicure were done, she takes the robe and like kind of throws it on the ground. so like the most, like you didn't need to do that. So she like throws her robe on the ground and she was like, this is the final and last time you're gonna see me, and let me tell you, it was not a pleasure working with you today, to me. And I was like, okay, bye. I told her, I was like, okay, have a good night, like you can go, your service is done. And she was like, I'm going. You don't have to tell me to go. I'm going. I'm like, okay. Like, nobody care. So then, do y'all believe? So, whatever. Fast forward, Sydney and the other owner came in and they were telling me like, oh, you know, you did nothing wrong. Like, I don't know, it's the system. Knowing damn well it was Samantha. It was not the system. So he was like, you know, we just have to work on the system. But at the same time, like, I don't understand why she was mad. She got her nails, hair done, da-da-da. And the other stylist was like, yeah, she was just being crazy. Like, it was just a mess. Do you all know? This is how I know, like, people are just nuts. Out of their mind, like, Looney Tune, okay? So I get a phone call. I'm the receptionist. I get a phone call and it sounds very familiar. So I was like, hi, welcome to da-da-da, how may I help you? Thank you for calling da-da-da, how may I help you? And I recognized the voice and she was like, oh yes, I would just wanted to schedule a manicure and a pedicure, a gel manicure and a pedicure. And I was like, okay, and what's your name? She said something completely that's not her name. Let's say, she's like, oh, this is Marie. And I was like, okay, what's your last name, Marie? And she acted like she didn't hear me. Right? So I was like, what's your last name, Marie? And she was like, Marie, just a regular gel manicure and pedicure, but dumb. We have caller ID. So I put in the number because, you know, anybody in front desk work knows that you can't understand the person. So if they're in the system, you just type in their number. Guess who comes in? And in the bright, bold, red, blinking pop-up message says, do not book ever again. She is banned from this. And so I was like, is this Brandy? And she was like, and who am I speaking to? And I was like, this is Samantha. And she was like, oh, hello. I'm not familiar with, who is this? Is this a stylist? And I was like, no, this was the person that you went off on when you cussed me out and got very upset with me. Yeah, this is her. She hung up. Bye, girl. The nerve of you to sit here and do all this craziness and try to come up with an alias to come back. Like, we wouldn't know. Ma'am, if you walked through the door, I would have been with a bat ready to go. But she never came back to the salon. But yeah, she ended up, I don't know, she was crazy. And then, guys, this is the tea. So she left like this crazy review, right? She went nuts. She went crazy on that review, saying all kinds of stuff about everybody. And it wasn't true. Like, it was just this really off the wall review. It was nuts. So she left that, and so they're obviously, this is Miami, so they had a bunch of lawyers and a bunch of, like, you know, up there people that came to get their hair and nails done. So they actually had a lawyer that was a client there, like, reach out to her because they threatened her that if she did not take that review down, like, they were gonna sue her. And basically, because that woman Brandy had so much money, they were like, we're gonna sue you for millions. I don't know how much they were gonna sue her, but they did threaten her, and she deleted the review. But yeah, crazy people in this world. And that was the time that I messed up, got cussed out. Y'all let me know if it was deserved. I don't know. I guess it was, but at the same time, I don't feel like unless somebody, I don't know, does something like crazy to you, I don't feel like there's ever a need to just start cussing people out and just going crazy in a public area. You know what I mean? Just because you had to wait for your nails? It's really that deep? I don't know. Especially in read the room. We are not at Walmart, girl. Get yourself together. Don't you, like, class, ma'am. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if I was wrong or not. I don't know. I don't care. It's in the past. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Bye.